When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath,
There to meet with
Macbeth.
I conquer in Malkin!
Paddock calls.
anon.
Fair is foul, and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that?
This is the sergeant who fought against my captivity. Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Brave Macbeth, disdaining fortune, with his brandished steel unseamed the enemy from the nave to the chops, and fixed his heart upon our battlements. But then the Norwegian lord began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows eagles, or the hare the lion. But I am faint.
Go, get him surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky. Norway himself was assisted by the most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor. But to conclude, the victory fell on us.
No more shall that Thane of Cawdor deceive our bosom interest. Go, pronounce his present death, and with his formal title greet Macbeth. What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I, aren't thee which the rump-fed running cries? Her husband to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger, but in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do and I'll do and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Thou'rt kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb, wrecked as homeward he did come.
A drum, a drum.
Macbeth doth come.
The
Weird sisters hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up nine. Peace, the charter's wound up.
Ho! So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is it called to forest? What are these, so wild in their attire that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it? Live you, or are you aught that man may question?
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis!
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth. Thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear the things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly you show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
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 Lesser than Macbeth, but greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth,
All hail!
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than of Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
The earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they'd stayed?
Were such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings,
You shall be king,
and Thane of Cawdor too. Went it not so?
to the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend. Which should be thine or his? Silent at that, in viewing o'er the rest of the self-same day, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst make. Strange images of death, as thick as hail, came post with post, and everyone did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sights, not to pay thee.
And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him, called the Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, and bid me read, we will establish our estate upon our eldest Malcolm, who we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland. Signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers, from hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you, most worthy Thane, it is thine.
What can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who is the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he so deserves to lose? Whether he combined with the forces of Norway, or did line the rebel or hidden help advantage, or labored under both for his country's wreck, I know not, but treason's capital both confessed and proved have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, for the greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that promised the Thane of Cawdor to me promise no less to them?
'Tis strange, and oftentimes to win us from our harms, the instruments of darkness tell us truth. Win us with honest trifles to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word I pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. Cannot be good, cannot be ill. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. If chance shall crown me king, then chance may crown me without my stir. Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
My apologies. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Let us towards the king.
Very gladly.
Until then, enough. Come, good friends.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report that they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with Hail King that shalt be.
I thought this good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightest not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant to what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should wrongly attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou wouldst have great lungs, that which thus cries, thus thou must do if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do, than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round which fate in metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned with all. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him who wert so would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows at the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage of remorse, that no compunctuous visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my women's breast, and take my milk for gold, you murdering ministers, where in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of dark, to cry, hold, hold! Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor! Pray to that both by the all-hail hereafter, thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow as he proposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book, where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that is coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only to look up clear. To alter favor is ever to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
Macbeth! Macbeth! Where art thou? Macbeth! Macbeth!
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses. See, our honored hostess. The love that follows us is sometimes our trouble, which we still thank as love.
All our service in every point, twice done and then done double.
Where is the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had purpose to be his purveyor. But he rides well. His great love, sharp as a spur, hath holden to his house before us. Fair and honored hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs, themselves and what is theirs.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly and continue to hold our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
Macbeth! 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 Macbeth!
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence, and catch with his surcease success, that, but this might be the be-all, and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But we but teach these bloody instructions, which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. Oh, this even-handed justice commends these poisoned ingredients to our own lips. Besides, Duncan is here in double trust. First, as I am his subject and his kinsman, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, whom should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtue shall plead like angels trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity, like this naked newborn babe, striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow this horrid deed in every eye that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only my vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls onto the other.
How now?
What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has.
We'll proceed no further in this business. Duncan hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which will now be worn on their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time, such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in line, letting I dare not wait upon I would?
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness does now unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from its boneless gums and dashed its brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
What if we fail?
We fail? But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail, so convince that memory, the warder of the brain shall be a fume, the receipt of reason a limbeck only, when in their swinish sleep their natures lies in a death. What cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Shall it not be received, when we have marked with blood those sleepy two in his own chamber, using their very daggers that they done it?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
She goes down at 12.
I take us later, sir.
Take my sword. There is husbandry in heaven, and their candles are all out. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Give me my sword. Who's here? A friend. What, Macbeth not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largess to your offices.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which all else should free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of 3 weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve upon words on that business, we shall.
At your kindest leisure.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. Delights to you. Come, son.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle towards my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from this heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou hast marshaled me the way that I was going. and such an instrument I was to use. Oh, mine eyes are made fools, oh, the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee yet, and upon thy blade induggen, gouts of blood which was not so before. Oh, start eyes! It is this bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. With Tarquin's ravishing strides, towards his design moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they move. For fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present whore of the time which now suits with it. Well, I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deed too cold breath gives. I go and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace. It was the owl that shrieked the fatal bellman. I drugged their posets that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What's up?
Alack, I am afraid they have awakened, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband!
I've done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended.
I.
Oh, hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
Oh, this is a sorry sight.
Foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in sleep, and the other cried murder, which did wake the other. I stood there and heard them, but they did say their prayers, and addressed them again to their sleep.
They were two lodged together.
There's one did cry amen, and the other God bless us. As I stood there and heard them, as they'd seen me, with these hangmen's hands, listening their fears, I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? Oh, I was most in needing of a blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought out after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth doth murder sleep. Oh, the innocent sleep.
What do you mean?
Still it cried to all the house, sleep no more. Glamis hath murdered sleep. Therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Was it that thus cried? Why, worthy vain, do you unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of these things? Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why did you bring the daggers from this place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
Looked on us again, I dare not. I am afraid to think of what I've done. I will dare look on it again.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of a childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Oh, whence is that knocking? How is it that every noise appalls me? What hands are here? Ha! Oh, they pluck out mine eyes. What? Will all of great Neptune's oceans not wash this blood clean from my hands? No, this rather the multitudinous seas, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear knocking of south entry. Retire we to our chamber, a little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark! More knocking. Get on your nightgown lest occasion call us, and show us to be watchers of this deed. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not to know myself. Oh, wake Duncan with thy knocking! I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, never quiet. But this place is too cold for house, so I shall double porter it no further. Open the gates! None, I pray you, remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend? Ere you went to bed that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were caroused until the second cock. And drink, sir, is said to be a provoker of 3 things.
What 3 things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir. It provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him. It sets him on and takes him off. It persuades him and disheartens him. Makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him to a sleep, and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, that it did. I equivocated him for his lie, and though being too strong for him, though he took up my legs sometime, I made a shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring?
I'll go check.
Our knocking has awakened him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
The labor we delight in physics pains. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does, or he did appoint so.
The night has been unruly where we lay. Our chimneys were blown down, and as they say, lamenting turned in the air. Strange screams of death.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror! 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with the new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Bakewell, Donalbain, Malcolm, awake! As from your graves, rise up and walk like spirits to countenance this horror! Ring the bell!
What's the business that such hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of this house? Speak! Speak!
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Oh, Bakewell, our royal master is murdered!
What in our house?
Too cruel anywhere, dear Duff. I prithee contradict thyself. Say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this moment, I lived a blessed time. For from this moment there's nothing serious in morality. Grace and renown is dead. The wine of life is drawn. The mere lees is left for it to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are and don't know it yet. The wine, the spring, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father is murdered. Oh, by whom?
Those of his chamber. Their hands and faces were embadged with blood, and as were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury. But it was I that had done it.
Wherefore did you so?
What man can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. Here lie Duncan, his golden skin laced with his golden blood, his skin breached for nature, gashed stabs, ruins for life's wasteful entrance, and the murderers, laced in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. What man could refrain, whom had a heart to love, and in that heart, courage to make one's love known?
Help me, Henso!
Look to the lady!
Why do we hold our tongues? Thou must clean this argument for hours.
What should be spoken here? Where our fate? Hidden in Algaro may rush and seize us. Let's away, our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow, upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer an exposure, Let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against this indivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
Let us briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Let's not consort with them. What will you do? To show an unfelt sorrow is an office, which a false man does easy. All to England.
To Ireland I. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there are daggers in men's smiles. The nearer in blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that's shot hath and not yet lighted, and the safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave taking, but shift away. There is warrant in that theft which steals itself, where there is no mercy left.
And so the sovereignty has fallen upon Macbeth. With Macduff to Fife, I will to Scone, to see our new king sit upon the throne. Macbeth, thou hast it now, king, Cawdor, Glamis, all, as the weird women promised. And fear, thou playedest most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Here is our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, in all thing unbecoming.
Let every man be master of his house until 7 at night.
My lord.
You have been dismissed. Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to which my duties are with the most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We have else desired your good advice, which hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. It's far you ride.
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better. I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in both Ireland and England, not confessing their cruel patricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. Oh, but of that tomorrow, adieu, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you.
Aye, my good lord, our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and commend you to their backs. Farewell. Sirrah, a word, please. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing but to be safely thus. Our fears and Banquo stick deep, for the royalty of nature he bears. 'Tis much he dares. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings, placed a barren scepter in my grip, an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding, if it be that the seed of Banquo kings. Come in. Now go to the door, and stay there until we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
Aye, my lord, it was. So please your highness.
Now then, have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in the times that passed that held you so under fortune, once when you had thought it had been your own innocent selves. This I made good to you in our last conference.
You made it known to us.
I did so and went further, which is now our point of second meeting.
We are men, my liege.
Aye. In the catalogues ye go for men, and I will put that business in your bosoms. whose execution takes your enemy off.
I am one, my liege.
And I another.
And I a third, my lord.
All of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
And so is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every moment of his being thrust against my nearest of life, I could, with barefaced power, sweep him from my sight if my will avouch it. But alas, I must not.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Your spirits shine through you. In this hour at most, I will advise you where to be placed. Fleance, his son, who goes with him. His absence is no less material to me than of his father's. Must embrace the darkest of hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo's soul's flight, if it find heaven, must it find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Not had, all spent, where our desires got without content. 'Tis safer to be than which we destroy, than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have but scratched the snake, not killed it. Oh, she'll close and be herself, whilst our poor Malice remains in danger of her former tooth. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace. Duncan is in his grave. Oh, after life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst. Nor steel, nor poison, malice domestic foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come, gentle, my lord. Sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
And so shall I. And so I pray you, be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both in eye and in tongue. As we must unlave the while, hiding these honors in these flattering streams, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his Fleance lives. But there is comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. There, the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Oh, be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, until thou applaud the deed. Come sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of innocent day. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while black agents to their prey do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Bad things begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee, go with me.
Give us a light there, Hope. It will be rain tonight.
And let it come down.
Oh, treachery! Fly, good Fleance! Fly! 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 Oh, slave!
Who did strike out the lights?
Was it out the way?
There's a one down and the sun has fled.
We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's wait and see how much is done.
You all know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks, Your Majesty!
Ourselves will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time will require our good welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks they are welcome.
Be large in mirth, and anon we'll drink a measure the table round. There is blood on thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
'Tis better he without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut that I did for him.
Thou art the best o' the cutthroats. Yet he did the like for Fleance as well, or else thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal, sir, Fleance has escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had all else been perfect. But Banquo is safe.
Aye, my lord, safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes on his head, the least death to nature.
Thanks for that. There, the grown serpent lies, the worm that's fled from nature. In time will venom breed. Get thee gone. I'll come to you tomorrow.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer.
Come, good digestion waits on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness, sit.
Here we have our country's honors roofed, if the graced person of our banquet were present, whom I may rather challenge for mischance than question for mischief.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please it, your highness, to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves, your highness?
Which one of you have done this?
Well, my good lord.
Thou cannot say I did it. Oh, never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends, my lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. If you much note him, you will offend him and extend his passion. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
I, and a bold one, that dare look on what might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there. Lo, look. What say you? Oh, what care I? If thou can nod, speak to.
What? Quite unmanned in folly.
If I stand here. I saw him.
Fie for shame.
The times have been that when the brains were out, the man were out with him. But now they rise with 20 mortal murderers on their crowns and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Come, do not muse at me, my good friends. To those who know me, know I have a strange infirmity about myself, which is nothing. Come, love and health, and then I will sit. Come, fill full, and I shall drink a measure the table round. And to our dearest friend Banquo, whom we miss. To him, to you, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge!
Avaunt, and quit my sight. Let the earth hide thee. Thou bones are marrowless. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other, only
what man
foiled
dare?
pleasure time.
Oh, I dare. Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the Hersian tiger, the armed rhinoceros. Take any shape but that, and I shall never tremble. Hence, horrible shadow, you unreal mockery. Hence!
No.
Sit still. Why so, being gone? I am a man again.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
And so I have. Like a summer's cloud can behold such wonder. You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe. Once when I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not on the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his
Kind
majesty.
good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Oh, what is the night?
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How sayest thou? That Macbeth denies his persons, It's our great present.
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There is not a one in his house that but I keep a servant fed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. For now I am bent to know, by the worst means the worst. I'm stepped in blood so far, that should I wade no more, returning would be as tedious as go over. Strange things I have in head, that I will in hand.
You lack the season of all natures, sleep.
Come, we'll to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is nothing but the initiate of fears. We are but yet young, indeed.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harp your cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poison entrails throw. Toad that under cold stone days and nights has 31 sweltered venom sleeping got. Boil thou first in the charmed pot.
Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake. In the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog. Wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm sting. Lizard's leg and owlet's ring. For a charm of powerful trouble. Like a hell broth boil and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf of the ravened salt sea shark, root of hemlock digged in the dark, finger of burst strangled babe, ditch delivered by a drab, make the gruel thick and slab, and there toe at a tiger's chaudron for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood. Then the charm is firm and good. By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret, black, and midnight hags? What if you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess. Howe'er you come to know it, answer me to what I ask.
Speak, demand.
We'll answer.
Say it if thou'st rather hear it from our mouths, or our masters.
Call them forth. Let me see them.
Pour in Sal's blood that hath eaten her 9 pharaoh. Grease that sweatened for the murderer's gibbet. Throw into the flame.
Come high or low, thyself in office deftly show.
Whate'er thou art, tell me to what I
He
ask.
knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth! Beware Macduff! Beware the Thane of Fife! Dismiss me! Enough!
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright. But one more word.
He will not be commanded.
Here is another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth!
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of women born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. For what need I fear thee? But yet, I will make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear is lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. Who is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who shakes, who frets, or where conspirers are. For Macbeth shall never vanquished be, till great Burnham Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
But that will never be. Who can impress the forest, unbid the tree, unfix its earthbound root? But yet, my heart throbs to know one thing. If thou art can tell so much, will the issue of Banquo ever reign upon this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be answered. Deny me this, and an eternal curse shall fall upon you. Tell me.
Show
His eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thy crown doth sear into my eyeballs, and thy hair, thou golden-bound brow, is like the first. A third is like the former. You filthy hags! Why doth you show me this? A fourth, oh what? Will his line stretch out to the crack of doom? A fifth, oh start eyes, I shall see no more. And yet the sixth appears, and shows me many more. Some with twofold balls and scepter carry. For 'tis true, for now this blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me, pointing at them for his. What can this be so? Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand accursed in this bloody calendar. Who is it that comes?
What is your grace's will?
Saw you not the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Damned be the air whereupon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse, which came by.
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word Macduff has fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time thou anticipatest my dread exploits. This flighty purpose ne'er it o'ertook, unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very first things of my heart shall be the first things of my hand. I will surprise Macduff, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace to his line. No boasting like a fool. This I'll do before this purpose cools. But until then, no more sights. Bring me to these men. Show me where they are.
make him fly the land.
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom to leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansions, and his titles in a place from whence he himself does fly. He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in her nest against the owl. All is the fear and nothing is the love, as little is the wisdom where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest cause, I pray you, school yourself. But for your husband Macduff, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves. I take my leave of you. It shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things that the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much a fool should I stay longer. It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sirrah, your father's dead, and what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, Mother.
What with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird thou'lt never fear the net nor the lime, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, Mother? Poor birds they are not set for. My father is not dead, for all you're saying.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
If he was dead, you would weep for him. If you would not, it should be a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkest.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly, if you will take a homely man's advice. Be you not found here, hence with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage, to do worse to you or foul cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable, to do good sometime accounted dangerous folly. What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayest find him.
He's a traitor!
Thou liest, thou shag-haired villain.
What? You egg young fry of treachery! Take her!
Please, no. No.
Ah.
No!
It is done.
Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face. This once thought chaste tyrant hath touched you not, but I ought be cautious as an innocent lamb. Though things foul try to look more like grace, grace is always gracious. We need salve our country's gashed wounds. England has offered goodly men. Him that shall succeed shall have more vices, and more people will suffer harshly in more sundry ways than ever.
Ho there!
Good Malcolm, I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is.
I've lost my hopes.
I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonors. By my own safeties.
Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkest for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp.
I think our country seeks beneath the yoke. Here from gracious England have I offered thousands. Yet my poor country shall suffer more by him that shall succeed.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has his name. Your wives, your daughters, and your maids cannot fill up the cistern of my lust.
Balance and temperance in nature is a tyranny.
Were I king, I shall cut off the nobles from their land. If one is fit to govern, speak, as I am as I spoken.
Fit to govern? Fare thee well.
Vile Macbeth by deceit, that has sought to trick me in the modest wisdom, plucks me from my yielding to my haste. Here I pledge to thy command, and never would I betray my faith, nor forswear an oath. We are truly thine. Seward with 10,000 men is right behind. May God above do between thee and me, and may the goodness in this moment serve us in our warranted quarrel.
My ever-gentle cousin, welcome hither. Stand Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave. Good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps, dying where they sicken.
What's the newest grief?
Each minute seems a new one. Your castle is surprised. Your wife and babes have been savagely murdered.
Merciful heaven, give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers to offer a heart and bids it break.
What, all my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop?
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. Heaven rest them now.
Let grief consort to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Fronts to front, bring now this fiend of Scotland and myself.
Come we to the king. Macbeth is ripe for shaking. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long, and never finds the day.
I have 2 nights' watch with you, but can perceive no truth in your reports.
Since his majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw a nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, and read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed, yet all this while in most fast sleep.
What at any time have you heard her say?
Having no witness to confirm my speech, I will not report after her. Lo, you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense are shut. It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands.
Yet hear a spot.
Hark, she speaks.
Out, damned spot. Out, I say! A soldier yet frightened. My lord, you startled all who met with your sudden fits. No more of that. For what we need, we fear. Who knows it when none can call us to account? Neither Banquo nor Macduff's wife can leave their graves. Yet blood ran fierce from the old man. The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? Smell of blood. Still, all the perfume of Arabia will not sweeten this hand that cannot undo what has been done. Oh, wash your hands. Change your thought. Look not so pale. Hold my hand. I tell you, yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on his grave. Ignore what's been said. What's been done cannot be undone. To bed.
She has spoken what she should have not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
This disease is beyond my practice. Will she now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings area abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. More needs she the divine than a physician. God be with us all. Look after her, but think, not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
Led on by Malcolm, his uncle Stuart, and Macduff. Revenge is burning them.
Near Burnham Wood shall we well meet them. That way are they coming.
What does the tyrant?
Great Dunsinane he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad, others that lesser hate him to call it valiant fury. Now does he feel his secret murders sticking to his hands? Those he commands we've only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief?
Well, march we on to give obedience where 'tis truly owed.
Make we our march towards Burnham.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham Wood removed to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. Who's this boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth, for no man born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with these English epicures. The mind I sway by, and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damned thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where goest thou, that goose look?
There is 10,000
Geese, villain!
soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face, and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy!
What soldiers, Wayface?
The English force, so please you.
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight until my bones, my flesh be hacked. Bring me my armor. Doctor, how goes your patient?
As she is troubled by thick-coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow. Raise out the written troubles of the brain.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
If thou couldst, doctor, find her disease and purge it unto a sound and pristine health, I'd applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again.
Aye, your majesty. Your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I shall not fear death, until Burnham would come to Dunsinane.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham. Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him.
We learn no other, but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane, and will endure our setting down before it.
'Tis his main hope, and none serve with him, but constrain things whose hearts are absent too.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe, and so we advance!
Hang our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle shall laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie, until famine and ague eat them up. Wherefore was that cry?
It was the cry of women, my good lord.
Go. I have almost forgotten the taste of fears. The time has been. I would have cooled to hear a night shriek. But I've supped full of horrors. Direness, familiar to these slaughterous thoughts, cannot once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow. And tomorrow. And tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out. Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow. A poor player who struts and fruts its hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious, my lord, I shall report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked at Burnham, none on him, methought. The wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Take the castle!
No. Let me endure, wrath, if be not so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming, I say, a moving grove.
If thou speakst be false, upon this next tree shalt thou hang alive, until the famine cling thee. If thou speakst be sooth, doth care much for me. Go, ring the alarm bell, blow rack. If we die, we shall die with harness at our back. They've tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like, I must fight the course. Who is it that was not born of woman? Him I am to fear, or none.
Turn, hellhound, turn!
Of all men else, I have avoided thee. But get thee back. Thy sword is too much charged with thine blood already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
With thy keen blade, impress as make me bleed. Thou losest labor. With thy keen blade, let it fall on more vulnerable crests. I live a charmed life, which shall not yield to man of woman born.
To spare thy charm, and let's the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee. Macduff was from his mother's womb, untimely ripped.
Accursed be this tongue that tells me so. Oh, yet, but I will try the last. Lay on, Macduff, and damn be he that cries. Hold enough.
Art, behold where you stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, King of Scotland! My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland, in such an honor name. What's more to do? But should we planter newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of the watchful tyranny. By grace of grace, we shall perform and measure time and place. So thanks to all at once, and each one whom we invite to see his crown at Scone! Amagura! Amagura!
Malcolm! Malcolm! Malcolm!
Sisters, when shall we three meet again?